Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Humza Yousaf does like to be first. He's the First Minister on his first trip to London as First Minister, and he decides that the whole thing will be first class. He goes on a 50-minute return flight, business class. It's no more up than it's coming down. How much business can he get done? And then, when he's in London, he decides that it's only fitting that he stays at a £700 a night hotel. Meanwhile, people in Scotland can barely afford to put food on the table. But hey, that's not important, because they're not as important as him. Other people on the trip went with him. Their hotel was less than half that. What's so special about his backside that he needs to stay at a unnamed hotel? But it's going to be something like the Savoy, isn't it? Anyway, he's there, and you can guarantee also that during his little jaunt, he wasn't eating a happy meal. He was going to be very, very much upmarket for his food. And it's nice work if you can get it. But why should people be funding this lavish lifestyle for a man who's failed at everything and has yet to deliver anything concrete, substantial, or even beneficial for the people of Scotland? It sounds like he's on to a nice little grift, and he's enjoying every penny that he can take out of the public purse. Anyway, we'll take a look at this, see what's going on, and see why this hypocritical, two-faced tosspot is living the high life while everyone else struggles to pay for it. Here goes. So, Humza Yousaf's eye-watering £1,400 taxpayer-funded London hotel bill. Now, this is just the hotel bill was £1,400. Smacks of entitlement, says furious critics. On his first trip to London as leader of the SNP, the First Minister stayed first class at a £700 a night hotel and flew business class at the cost of the taxpayer. This comes as Rishi Sunak is also criticised for flying in his private jet from London to Aberdeen. Again, all this privilege. He could have taken, a domestic flight if he had to. Or better still, Rishi Sunak should have gone by train as well. Why are these people flying such short distances while at the same time trying to bring in low traffic neighbourhoods, restrict our car movements and things like that? It's funny, isn't it? The elite will put everything they can into restricting travel for the poor, making the poor, kettled. Let's stop them travelling because it's bad for the environment as they get on their private jets or fly at least business class. In the case of Humza Yousaf, he is not a tax evading or tax avoiding multi-billionaire who's got a green card so he can clip out of the country a bit swift when it all goes Pete Tong. Unlike Rishi Sunak, a man who can only afford a private jet because we are paying for it out of the taxes he's not paying. Anyway, Humza Yousaf is under fire for spending just under £1,400 for 2 nights in a London hotel and a business class plane ticket that cost over £500 when he could have easily taken the train. I mean, seriously, it's a 50-minute flight. By the time you've taken off, got up to cruise speed, had a cup of tea, well, you're almost on your way down, aren't you? Why are offering a business class for such a short flight? Smacks of getting as much as you can, doesn't it? The First Minister in his first trip to the UK capital while in office doubled the spending cost of his fellow top government official, Lord Advocate Dorothy Bain, who spent less than half of his accommodation costs on a similarly located room. He has been accused of entitlement and self-indulgence because, of course, that is exactly what it's been. For the bill that came to light with recently published official records, they show a sum of £1,380 was spent on Mr Yousaf's 2-night stay at an unknown hotel in April, or £690 a night. Travelling to London cost an extra £534 for business class return flights. It's a 50-minute flight. Why business class, we don't know. And why even a flight? Surely for the man who says that he doesn't want to extend oil usage, he wants to bring in all these, low traffic zones, he wants to bring in low emission zones, he wants to push his green credentials, and then he gets on a plane. Not setting a very good example, is it? Because it's only the poor people that need to be controlled and limited in their options. Elitists must never be inconvenienced by mere hypocrisy. Oh, no. Anyway, the Scottish Tories accused him of insulting voters with his eye-watering costs amid a cost of living crisis, while the Scottish Government defended him out as cost-effective. If it was cost-effective, he'd have got the train, and it wouldn't have been first class either. He'd have just got the cheapest. In fact, cost-effective, it would have been cheaper for him to get in his car and drive down. You could be able to get from, say, Edinburgh to London and back on a single tank of fuel. His London jaunt on April the 24th to the 26th saw him meet with Rishi Sunak, the ambassador to the UK, the EU ambassador to the UK, I missed that bit, and the Ukrainian ambassador, followed by dinner with the German ambassador and other diplomats. Why is he at ambassadorial level? Scotland is not a sovereign country. Glasgow Tory MSP Annie Wells MSP said, Humza Yousaf's eye-watering hotel tab is a kick in the teeth to taxpayers. It is wrong that hard-working Scots are footing an enormous bill for the First Minister to be living the high life in London, especially when so many are struggling with a cost of living crisis. People are being taxed to hell at a time when they can barely afford to feed their children. Meanwhile, he pisses off on a business class flight to London, where he could have done any business he would have done on a Zoom meeting. But then he has to go business class. And then when he's there, he can't just stay at a normal hotel. He has to stay at a 5-star London hotel, £700 a night. It's unbelievable, isn't it? At a time, she said, when his government is making swinging cuts to public services, Humza Yousaf should be setting a prudent example. But charging the public £700 a night for his trip smacks of entitlement and self-indulgence. It is a stark reminder that the SNP are completely out of touch with real people's priorities. They've been out of touch since the day they got their arse into power, because they sit in their ivory towers talking down to people, patronising them, saying how great they are. They are condescending criminals, con men. You know, they are absolute pieces of filth and junk. Travelling just after Mr Yousaf, Miss Baines, first-class rail ticket. Again, why first class? Can't she sit with normal people? The normal people, offend her so much that she can't just sit in a normal train like everyone else. Oh no, her regal arse must go first class. She should be given the money for a normal train ticket, and if she wants to upgrade to first class, pays for it out of her own money. Anyway, that cost £400, admittedly cheaper than Humza Yousaf's flight, while her 2 nights in a hotel came to £574 or £287 per night, less than half the cost of the FM's room. And given London prices, that's not too bad. You're talking even like a travel lodge is over £100 a night in London, so you can't really object to that if it's business, if it's official travel. But again, how much of her work could have been done on a Zoom call? A Scottish Government spokesman said, travel is an essential part of official government business. Why? Why is he meeting ambassadors? He's not a diplomat. He's not ambassadorial level. He's not a national leader. He is effectively a Lord Mayor of Scotland. That's basically the rank. He said all travel costs are in accordance with travel and subsistence policies to ensure we deliver the best value for money as possible. £700 a night for a hotel room is not the best value possible. A business class flight is not the best value possible. If you want the true best value possible, a tank of fuel and drive. It would have been cheaper. Anyway, the Scottish Government takes its responsibility to travel sustainably. Well, why didn't he go by rail then? And aims to use sustainable forms of transport wherever possible, like railways, but not business class flights. Smacks of hypocrisy, smacks of grift, smacks of a man knowing he's got very limited time in office, and he's looking at him laughing smugly, going, look at me, I fucking screwed every penny I get because I'm not going to be in office very much longer. I'm going to take it all now. He's like a child, isn't he? Well, the sooner he's out of office, the better for everyone. But seriously, the lies, the best value for money and sustainable travel. Yeah, and he's wanking thousands upon thousands of pounds on a bit of self-indulgence. Look at me, I'm important now. Ultimately, he's not. He's a two-faced maggot. And I'm stopping there and coming up. So there you are, his first little taste of the high life and he goes to town, literally. Business class flights, top hotels, bet he wasn't eating cheap, and for what? What did he achieve? Nothing he would have done by meeting ambassadors was ever going to be beneficial for Scotland. It's a completely different game. He doesn't have a foreign office. He doesn't have diplomats at his beck and call. He can make no influences. It all comes under the Foreign and Commonwealth Office anyway. So why was he there? Or was he just desperate to appear important and have a bit of high life? This is my reward, he said. This is my reward for being First Minister. Because don't forget, he was only just, voted in the previous week. And so he's like, oh, look at me, I'm so important now. Rubbing his hands with glee. Two-faced hypocrite. Meanwhile, at home, the NHS is falling apart and people are starving to death. You know, it's just quite literally such sheer hypocrisy and a complete lack of any kind of give-a-shit ability. Ah, well, the sooner he's gone, the better. Anyway, I'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. And if you can get travel at, first class travel at the taxpayers' expenses, you may as well do it because it appears to be the thing now. Bye.